We on. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to What's Really Happening. I'm your host, Bishop Michelle B. Patty.
And I am the co-host, John, the game changer, Green.
You the GOAT. That was you about to say. You the GOAT. And that's just who you are. You are the GOAT. And you're not letting nothing go down. You're not letting nothing stop you. You are the GOAT. John, I don't know even where to start, but I'm hoping everybody that I gave a little introduction. I was telling you beforehand, because I don't want nobody to miss this show, because people, especially black, on everything so that you all can get the right information, the right and truthful information. So, John, what we're going to start at before, because I got a lot, and I'm definitely going to talk about the church. The church. The devil is busy. He's doing his job. That's what I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I'm going to let you go with your. But the devil is doing what he's supposed to do, because he know Christ is on his way. So he got all those folks out in the world. So what do? He send his little demonic demons up into the church house, and they try to wreak havoc, but they just don't know. I join up, like many people, doing peacetime. When you join up, Ecclesiastes tell you there's a time for peace and time for war.
Chapter 3.
Come on now. Many of us, when we joined and gave God our right hand, it was a peacetime. But one day, the war was coming. And so now we are, and that's why he tell you, put on the whole armor of God. And so the war is here. And I tell people, I thank God that he made me like Deborah. I am a general in this army. Go ahead, John. Let's move on.
Let's just take our time with this.
Oh, yes, we
gotta take our time. We want to talk slow, and we want the facts to be known.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And it's ironic that you would say that, because yesterday, and we're gonna get to this later on into the show, but it was a teachable moment for me in terms of people.
That's awesome.
So we want to talk about that. And before we start talking about that, I want to play something that somebody sent something to me about what Donald Trump said about our little black children.
Wow.
So we're going to start there, but we want to start with you, Miss Patty. Let's just start with you, so we can get that out the way, so we can clear the air, because it's been put out that about this $46,000 and.
But John, I'm glad you started right there, and I'm sorry, because somebody trying to get on, and I'm just letting them know that we are on air, because people don't want to miss this show, and let's start right there. When you have haters, they don't want to see a look at the truth. And it's so sad, because a young lady called me. She said, it's a lady, I think her last name Williams. Well, it's two of them. I don't know what it is. Somebody, whatever. She goes out of school. And then we know Michelle Williams, who unfortunately want to
Let's just use the word alleged.
And yeah, allegedly, that they're on their Facebook and they're on their show. And I was actually threatened that if I do this show today, that Michelle Williams said she was going to produce a mugshot.
Allegedly.
No, that's what the lady. I just said what the lady said. I ain't gonna keep saying allegedly. The lady told me this, so we already.
I'll say it.
Yeah, you said allegedly. I'm gonna say what the lady told. I'm repeating what the lady told me. So I'm not. So because I don't look at filth, I don't follow trash, and definitely with Michelle Williams, who is a real convict, and this is not allegedly. She's on paper for 15 years for defrauding a elderly gentleman out of his property. But it was the threat is that if I did the show, John, that she was going to produce my mugshot. She was going to produce my mugshot. Okay. So I say, if nothing else, I just came here and sat down today because I want to see this mugshot. Because people have all this stuff going on with nothing. And it's unfortunate. This is not my first time dealing with Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams has an obsession with me. She wants to be me. And I even told her in her face, baby, it's a lot of work out here. You don't have to try to drag me down or do stuff, because I've been out here fighting, not because I was a politician or people pay me, because God put it on my heart to help people. So the harvest is plentiful. So go at it. But she think the way to people following her, and she even said allegedly on her program that I used to have credibility. Baby, I got a whole lot of credibility. So trust me.
I can vouch for that now.
And that's why
I can vouch for that.
John, I seen it for my own self this week. Because a lot of time when you do a lot, people don't thank you for the stuff you do, and you don't look for it. But this week, ever since Monday, when they put that AI, can you put it up, that AI thing with Grady Judd? People have been calling out the woodwork. People who telling me, Bishop Patty, you never met me in person, but every time I called you, you helped me. You didn't charge me. You didn't ask me. You helped me. We standing 10 toes down with you. But so I've been walking on cloud 9 because I received, and you were here at my home when Pastor Tom Jones called me from, I didn't know at the time the call was being called from Tampa General Hospital. But I can hear it in his voice when he called, and he was telling me, I'm calling to encourage you because this is just so unfair what they're trying to do to me. So I want to thank you, Pastor. I want to thank Heaven Destiny. But that was on Monday. My husband and I went to his bedside on Tuesday. We got out there to the hospital on Tuesday. And he said, they should be celebrating you. He said, because when I came here, you the one helped not only me, my wife, but you've been a blessing to my family, my church family, this whole community. And I told him like this. I said, Pastor, you know what season we in. And he said, absolutely right. We're fighting a spiritual warfare, people. And those of us that's in the word, we understand that. We know that. Then I received a call from a good friend. I hadn't spoken to her in a while. Her daughter, Miss Sheila Youngblood daughter, called me. She said, my mother is going through an illness. But people, and I can't believe people would call people with such foolishness. And Miss Youngblood, I was told, and her daughter, don't call here with that ignorant, silly stuff. I know who Bishop is. So people been on Facebook telling them, this is fake, this is AI, this is blah, blah, blah. So I want to take a moment to thank you. Now let's get to the $46,000. If, listen people, just use a little common sense. If I had stolen $46,000, it wouldn't be court people. It would be an arrest. They would have went, these same people who's trying to take over the church. I'm talking about Gloria Divine, Deborah Barrett. I'm talking about LaTanya P's Korea, Willie Mitchell. Guess what? They would have called the police, said I stole this money, and I would have been arrested. That's just the start from there. But I also want to, before you
I got the picture, okay, but it's not clear.
But before we get into that, John, I have to show.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Like we said on Monday, did you not call the Hillsborough County Sheriff?
Oh, John, that everybody, that's like the people know. We not even gonna rehash that.
No.
No, I did, and not only I called Judge Grady office, and they laughed because everybody knew it was fake. I even called the FBI. Yes, Michelle Williams. I called the FBI. I called the sheriff, Hillsborough County Sheriff Department. I called the Tampa Police Department because this crap that they're pulling, to other people, it would just really make people maybe do something because Ben Banneker has been a menace to this community for a long time. Everybody don't have the spirit that I have. You understand me? And it could be hurtful and harmful to other people. So that's why I'm calling every law enforcement agency, and we're gonna track you down, Mr. Ben Banneker, Miss Ben Banneker. I don't give a who you are, but we're gonna track you down. Trust me, God has put you on the right one. But what else you had to say, John? Because I gotta say something.
I just wanted to clear that up. So if there's any pictures to be shown, at least you know that they know.
No, John, but John, like everybody was saying, if there was a picture, it wouldn't have been my clergy picture. And I'm gonna try to pull this up. They would have had my mug shot, and I think though people who don't even know, they got good common sense. People saying, where is the mug shot? You saying she a criminal, she did this and that. Nobody go get $46,000 and they don't get arrested, John. That's number one.
That's true.
But I want to send these pastors, because I would even call that people had to put some men pastors in place, because it's some men pastors who was sending out this stuff, and people telling them, look at the picture, it's fake. But I want these men to go to the book of Judges, go to Judges 4th chapter. But I want to read this here, just this little one verse, the 8th verse, and it say very clearly. Now, we're not talking about Barack Obama, for those who don't know church. I'm not talking about Barack Obama. Go pick up your King James Bible. But this is what verse 8 say. And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I would not go. Now, Barak is talking to Deborah, a woman, a prophetess. He's talking to her. Now, if he has been given the charge to go into battle, he's been told that he will win this battle. But like some of these men out here, who's preachers, who's trying to scandalize my name, who's never been on the forefront of any battle to help anyone in this community, they gonna run around here. They like Barack. And the prophetess Deborah had to lead the charge. He said, no, I'm not going to go. So Bishop Michelle B. Patty has been leading the charge. And so please pick up the Holy Bible for yourself and read it, and you'll see what's going on. If that's your pastor, you tell your pastor you ready. You see what was in the book.
Tell him to go get out there for you.
Yeah, because, and let me tell you, 2 pastors who have. I don't know if you remember this, but when Alan Clinton and the late Gwendolyn Gwen Henderson, councilwoman for District 5, she had said something, but it was dealing with Fair Oaks and and everything. And he said, "Oh, if she could use her black card, I can use my gay card." And he just laughed, and he thought it was so funny. So I called up some real pastors, Pastor Tom Jones, Pastor Timothy Kemp. There was John Brooks. There was some men, Julius Howard, the late Noreen Copeland Miller, Cynthia Woodbury. I think Kathy was, but there were some people. We went down there. No Pastor Alliance Group, nobody went to City Hall. People, y'all remember that? It was all over the news. And we confronted Alan Clinton that was disrespectful, that was racist. And what I loved about Miss Dora, and I miss her, oh my goodness, I miss her dearly. She told him, she said, if you want to be a comedian, you need to go to the improv. See, so people, and not one of these people who's talking bad or trying to bash me, not one of them could say that I did anything to them, against them. What their problem is, that they have a lack of courage. So because they have a lack of courage, and a person told me this, they say they want what you do for them, They want you to be that champion, but all at the same time, they jealous and envy of you.
And a couple weeks ago, I think it was, when I told them, I said, when I was speaking, I said, women, you got to call her. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna be brief. I just want to say I am one of the founding members of the church, and as one of the founding members, me and the rest of the church, truly church members, we stand side by side with Bishop with what's going on. When she took over the church, the year she preached, she got love offering. She did not get a decent pay. So when we voted for her retirement, that's the number we came up with. And as a church body, we all voted. So she didn't steal anything. And last but not least, being in the black churches, when did the church bylaws be overran by executive board? That is my question.
Good question. Good question. And I thank you, church member, for calling in, letting people know that said it in a nutshell. This church, Trinity and Faith, is run by bylaw. But John, and I'm glad, and I got a little ahead of myself, but I want you to read and try to tell you to stop. Start at the top about how Trinity and Faith even came into existence. Please start there.
A simple phone call went out to bring together a group of Baptist believers to remember just how Jesus died on the cross. His body was pierced by nails and his blood flowed over the wood and to the ground, delivering us from the bondage of our sins. This simple act of communion was the birth of Trinity and Faith. On October 7th, 2018, members came together to unite as a church in the University Community Center, serving the underserved area under the leadership of Pastor Vernon Young and Bishop Michelle B. Patty. Observed our first communion and fellowship. This was the beginning of this great church. On February 13th, 2019, Elder Vernon Young was installed as our pastor. On June 23rd, Pastor Young resigned and the church decided to move in a new direction with Michelle B. Patty as our leader. On August 18th, we observed the trial sermon of Sister Latanya Korea,
and that's where I want you to stop at. You have a caller there?
No, yeah, I'll come to you.
Okay, go ahead. The comment was praying for you. I'm praying for you, Bishop Patty. The words say that God will vindicate you, so stand firm on God's word. Now, this is coming from the other side of the debate. I thank you. I thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now, you see here clearly, we founded this church. And I thank the church member for calling in, letting people know this church, and we actually, because all of us was at a church. Now, these other people was at this other church way before, and I'm not even going to put them in the mix with this foolishness, but this other church, our pastor, beloved pastor, died without appointing a successor. We went by the church bylaw, and he was not seated. So, of course, the group of us, we left because the bylaws was not adhered to. And my husband and I, we're the ones that paid the monies to even rent the University Community Center to start the church. We were the largest tithers there because most of the people there was on fixed income or no income. You understand what I'm saying? So when the church started, Vernon Young was the person who was the pastor, and in 4 months, he wasn't getting paid anything, but he abruptly left, and the church voted Bishop Patty to be the pastor. After 5 years, we have another call. We have a caller. So we're going to stop there. We're going to take the caller. Go ahead, caller. You see what's really happening.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm speaking as a member of our church, our pastor, Bishop Michelle B. Patty. I just want everyone to know that you're a fine lady. You started out as ground one. I watched you. I watched you struggle with this church. I watched you use your funds, your outreach ministry support this church. You've done everything. You've been good to the members. You have took us out on trips, Orlando, bowling, shooting out, and you have baptized. You have done everything that you're supposed to have done. When you decided to have this business meeting with the group, we invited everyone to the table. Those that didn't show up, did not show up. When it was time to be voted, and we had from our heart decided what we thought that you was eligible for as your retirement. You turned down what we really wanted to give you, but you would settle for this one. But we wanted to give you more, but they crying over what we voted on. They wasn't even there to even vote. They didn't even have a heart to even stand up and stay there and listen. And we had to put officer in. But you done just what you're supposed to do. Why those haters out there? I don't know. But they can't follow your footsteps. They cannot do what you do. I've seen you go out there in the community. I've seen you fought for things that we needed in the community. They can't do that. There's only one Michelle B. Petty. Only one. So the haters need to stop being haters and find something else to do. Find something else to support the community. Leave you alone. Let you continue with your ministry. That's your calling. That's your calling. We don't need no haters out there. Let you do what you need to do and have your ministry in your household and be careful who sit at your table. Yes. You have not learned yet to say no. Anytime someone comes to you, there's always a yes. Yes, I can. So in your heart and your spirit, you're saying, my job is not done yet. So do your job. Don't worry about them haters because they're going to always want to be Michelle B. Patty Bishop in the front. So have a great day. Don't worry about the haters. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See, these are church members, and they don't know they're about to bring me to tears because they coming with what the truth and the facts are. Now, John, I want you to show. Now, this is the young lady, LaTanya Correa. Now, this is when I, Bishop Michelle B. Patty, ordained her as a pastor, not pastor of the church, but a pastor in training. Those of you that pastors, those of you that been in churches, you know that a pastor is in training until you the church have to vote them in. Okay, now this is the daughter of the mother, Glory Divine, who's trying to take over the church. Show this picture. This is Brother Willie Mitchell. Now, none of these people they was in church over this other church all their life. They served, they worked. Nobody ever elevated them to anything. But I made Willie Mitchell a deacon. Now, this is them standing up there. I'm going to take that call, but I want to finish this because we got to break it down.
Hold on, Colin.
Just 1 minute, Colin. This is once again where they standing up with the certificate, but this is where Bishop Patty, I ordained these people by Judases, but we sit that there. Now go ahead, Colin, and we're going to show some paperwork. Go ahead, Colin.
Good morning, Bishop Michelle Patty. I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you do in the community. Thank you for everything that you fight for. You fight for what's right, and you don't care, about people talking about you or whatever. And I also wanted to address the church situation or any board situation. 2 people do not make up a proper board. It has to be an uneven number of people because it has to be a vote. Somebody's got to be the swing vote or make the vote official. So if it's 2 people and they voting for the same thing, that's crazy. So, that's proper board procedure. So I just wanted to tell you, keep on carrying on. Don't worry about those people. Let's just keep going because, Jesus had a Judas. So, and but just one more thing. Black people are the only culture, the only community that's crabs in a bucket trying to tear each other down. And that is ridiculous. And that's why we can't get anywhere. That's why we can't get ahead, because hating on each other instead of trying to uplift each other. Even if you don't agree, you can come together. But it's just some ridiculous people out there in this community.
Colin, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate you. And we're going to bring that to what these two people did. Once I ordained Glory Divine Daughter, I'm going to show you how they did it. Now, this is Articles of Incorporation. This is Articles of Incorporation. Let me read this first. This is those of you that have a business church, and I'm not talking to people who don't go to business meeting. I'm not talking to people who don't go to church. I'm not talking to people who don't know how the church is ran. But any business, you have Articles of Incorporation. So now what we did, Vernon Young, who was the pastor, he was there as the president. We had Deacon Brown as the vice president. We had Glory Divine. She was the director. We had Yolanda Wilburn on here and Jean Gant. So here's the bylaw, and then it clearly say as provided for in the bylaw. You can show them that. Now, what this meant is that these people was put on there for Sunbiz purpose only, so we can incorporate the church. The board do not run or operate the church. We submitted the bylaws to Sunbiz, and here are our church bylaws. These are bylaws that we submitted to Sunbiz. Now, the church, when all this broke down, the church had been in existence for 5 years. 5 years. Now, these people didn't ever, Deborah Barrett, the other daughter, they complained because everybody know my Mother's Day program, it was done under my own organization, which at that time was Crump for Christ. This is when I started the Mother's Day program. But being the servant that I am, I closed out my Crump for Christ and put everything into the church, because I thought, as you read, that we was all on one mind, that we was trying to do everything for the glory and the kingdom of God. I could have been like most people do. This is my organization. I'm going to keep this money. No, I put everything in the pot. This board, these people in 5 years never met, never had a meeting, anything, because they were not to run the church. So common sense should tell you, well, how did the church exist? Now, we're in our 6th year. The church existed because as the Vernon Young was there for 4 months. I was there the rest. I'm still here. And what we did, we ran the church by the bylaw. Those know that even out at the University Community Center, it was my name that was on the rental agreement. When we went over, COVID came, I think the county took over the center. They stopped us from using it, everybody from using the center. That's when on Saturday, people, I went to my dear friend, Pastor Kemp, and we used to have Saturday church. And I brokered the deal with him to do Saturday church. Then they didn't want to do Saturday church, these complainers. So next, after that, we went on Zoom, we did that. But then on 34th and 18th Street, Elder Charles Davis, and I have the paperwork, my name, Bishop Michelle B. Patty, leased the building for us to have a church. Not Glory Divine, none of these people. But as the Mother's Day program is growing from the people that I know, the people that supporting me, now they got the big eyes looking at the money, not getting any sponsorship. 1 year they maybe did 1 or 2, but nothing to the magnitude that I've done. When we used to have fish fry, if nobody showed up to get the fish was I had already got sponsors. So I gave away, had people come and get free sandwiches, free dinners from my work. They didn't even want to fry the fish. And guess what? We have people, such as Sister Costa, these people, y'all don't have to do anything. These people, they was just agitators in the church. Little did I know that they was plotting to try to take over the church. So after this last Mother's Day program, that's when everything hit the fan. And the caller, the member, was talking about the church when we had a meeting. Deborah Barrett name right here. Glory Divine name is right there. Jean Gant, Latoya Correa. This is the roster that we sent out to give notice because we knew we followed the bylaw. That in order to have a call meeting, we had to send out a 7-day notice. Now, they didn't show up. Those were 5, 6 didn't show up. These are the people that showed up. These are the signature. These are the folks that came. Now, guess the meeting that we had, it was held at Pastor Kemp Church, neutral ground, because Willie Mitchell, who I ordained as Deacon Mitchell, he would not, we used to rent out for business week, we would go to the library, see Life Library. Oh, he wouldn't do it because he had told and convinced them that Glory Divine, she controlled and run the church. Okay, follow me good. So anyway, we had the meeting, the people signed up. We even did it, folks, by audio. We even have audio of this meeting because we want to do everything by the book. So by them not showing up, the membership seeing how they trying to, and I'm gonna back up. The Sunday after, I think it was after the Mother's Day, if any church members out there remember, I wasn't in service on that first Sunday. LaTanya P's career was the pastor for that Sunday on Zoom. We on Zoom. She declared herself the pastor that Sunday morning. And in doing so, she told the membership she was not going to do any communion. They weren't having that day. And people went to challenge her. How dare you? This is sacred. When did the pastor resign? Where's the pastor's resignation? What is you talking about? We haven't had a call, a committee. We didn't vote you in. But they were so assured that they had a hold on the membership, that the membership was going to go along with them. My phone went to ringing it to the point it almost fall out my hand. People was calling, what's going on, Pastor? I say, no, I have not resigned. I say, but I will set things in order. That's how this meeting came about, that they didn't show up because they knew what they was doing was wrong. So anyway, they was voted out. The people said, because I didn't ask your pastor, do they work for free? No, there's no pastors like me that was preaching every Sunday, no money for free. What the church did, they started giving me a love offering. Okay? And then when this came about, and like the callers say, they tried to really give me all the money. I say no. And at the time, I have glaucoma. But let me show you about God. Because I was, in that September, I was going to make Glory Divine a mother of the church. And then I was going to pass the baton. We talk about young people. Pass the baton to LaToya P's career. But God, let all this come about because he knew these was not the people to carry on the church. And that's why this erupted before September for me to put things in order, because these is not the people that he wanted to run this church. Now, so here we go. Once the people voted, we got everything done. What do Gloria Divine do? She take off these board members and leave herself. Now, Willie Mitchell is the registered agent, Gloria Divine, and Jean Gann. These are two people that now they are in control of the church. That's what they say. They in control. Yeah, show that. Yeah, I mean, Michelle Williams, we want to show you all and those that's been over there just obsessed. Michelle Williams actually obsessed with me. This woman want to be me, but you would never be able to walk in my shoes. Create your own shoes. Now, under the 617, and we had a real young law judge who this young judge. I have a black male lawyer from Orlando, and they have this white older lady from Palm Beach, and we have a real young judge who really don't know. This is, if you don't know about church etiquette and protocol, then she ruled, but we still in litigation. So there's a lot of things I can't divulge. But let me tell you what the ruling, it came under the ruling 617 is about the bylaw. Now, this is what 617 tell you, and we're going to do later after this election. I'm going, and once we get this podcast, because I want it to be heard around the world, because there's a lot of churches that's starting up. There's a lot of churches that are in starting, that y'all need to look at what you have here so you don't get a Judas like these Judas that I have who want to try to take over the church. But they took off my board members and it left two. But according to the Florida Senate 2020 Florida statute 617.0803, it say clearly a board of directors must consist of 3 or more individuals with the number specified in or fixed in accordance with the articles of incorporation or by the bylaws. If these people are able to do this and get away with it, do you know every Fortune 500, every business, every church, you would have Judases like this that can just get rid of the board, people on the board, and take over the church, take over the Fortune 500. That cannot be, people. So that judge, unfortunately, her ruling was in error, but thank God we got this well-spoken, well-educated attorney who has come back and has shown that we have another hearing, and it says right here that we in 6 months we going back to the court. We going back to the table because right there where right there where it's highlighted, it shows that this is not over with, folks. So don't get caught up in this foolishness. All right, John, let me have that because there's a lot of stuff. So, but in 6 months, we're going to have a court date. But those people out there, special churches, and those of you that are just getting started, look at your paperwork, look at your bylaw, make sure how you word things, because you would have a Judas. But thank God her ruling came under 617, where you cannot rule under 617 incorrectly and think that's going to stand. It says 617, you must have 3 or more. That's why we have 7 people on the council. You always got to have that odd number to break up a tie. So people, that's why Bishop Patty is not sitting in jail. That's why my membership, people there, they know. That's why the membership stayed intact with me. We have not missed a Sunday of church. This been going on, folks, for over a year and a half. This has been taking place. This has been going on. This has been, but we have been baptizing people. We have been eulogizing folks. We have been serving God. We have been, because Christ did not fall up under paperwork. He wasn't in a building. And now you have to ask yourself, why are these people going all out like this? We don't have a building. We don't have any equipment. It's about the money, people. The money that they did not put in there, the money that they didn't earn, but their eyes got big. And it's about an ego with Pastor, who I ordained as a pastor, LaToya P's career, wanting to be a pastor. Because the first thing she telling people, the trustee, write a check. I'm taking it to Shake Washington to his, he was doing his kickoff. Now, she had never been to none of the man political. These people don't be involved in no politics, no nothing. And so thank God that the trustee called me and say, can we write a check to a political campaign? Heck no. I say, what she don't know, she's about, that's why she was in training. She's about to have y'all lose the church status, 501c3, because at this time, a church could not endorse or write a check to any political campaign. And I was able to stop that from happening. So people, there's a lot more. I can't get into it because we are still in litigation. But for those who thought y'all had something on me, thought I'd done something, it's right here in the paperwork. And pastors, men pastors, and it's not a lot of y'all that have, I don't think out there doing this ignorant stuff, but to go to my in-laws and do stuff and try to make it, and people showing you the IA, the picture where you can see Grady Judd. AI, I ain't with all that stuff, John.
Well, we're gonna get you.
Y'all gonna get me on that. But you could clearly see that Grady Judd. Number one, people say, well, why would Grady Judd? I put it. Yeah, show that. Why would Grady Judd? Why in the world greater judge would be arresting me? I live in Hillsborough County. We have, for those who don't know, and I'm talking to people because we have people all over the country, New York, everywhere, Georgia, Florida, that listen in on this program, and I appreciate y'all dearly. That our sheriff in Hillsborough County is Chad Chronister. Chad Chronister is the sheriff of Hillsborough County. If there had been something illegal, it wouldn't be greater judge. It would be him that would. And then as you look, people say they can see the picture, the back, the hand's not even on the picture. But for people, and it's so sad. It's so sad because I'm saying people on their sick bed of affliction is calling me, and I got to tell them, don't worry, all is well with me. But they don't know how good they make me feel. And people, I'm steady getting them pouring in. I got a text from Savannah, Georgia this morning telling me, don't worry about this, and God got you. I know God got me. I know what we're going through. I know what is the problem. And Latoya Correa calls the number for you to call, darling. This Miss Latoya Correa. Well, let's see if we can hear her. Go ahead, sweetie.
Turn it up. First of all, stop lying on my name, and I'm not your sweetie. Number one, I didn't, all the stuff you're saying, you're a liar. You're a biggest liar on this side of earth. Much as I did for you, how loyal I was for you, and you gonna get on your show and tell a lie, okay? I'll be adding slander to the lawsuit. That defamation of character, because you keep lying on my name. I have not bothered you for a whole year. I have not called Michelle B. Patty name. You are a witch. You are worse from hell, and I do not like you any longer. I want to hate you, but I still love you. That's the God that's in me. That I still love you. And you get on your show and tell lies about my name, lie on my mama, lie on my family. You don't have to lie because they got them court documents all over social media. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie on me. You don't have to say nothing about me. I have not talked about you over in 2 years.
All right, you finished?
And I have receipts in my phone. I have text messages in my phone. You are a liar. Okay. I'm glad you sit on that show and tell a lie on me. I don't want to be nothing like you. Who are you that I want to be like? I've been in the pulpit since I was 13 years old. I don't want to be nothing like you.
Now,
who are you that I'm jealous of?
all right, then let me tell you about this person. And she's correct. She didn't say anything. She letting her mother and her sister. She didn't even show up at the Mother's Day program. She didn't do anything. And you're right. We do have texts, and I have them on my same phone. She let them go out and do the work. But the paperwork, I just showed y'all what took place. So I don't have to go through with her screaming, hollering. But what she didn't know, that I was going to be able to produce this paperwork. And I had never produced anything. This, like she said, has been going on a year and a half. You know why? Because I was letting the courts handle it. I didn't have to do that. But Willie Mitchell, I wanted to say something about him too, so he could call in. They told him, now he got a piece of property. We went over as a church, because we were looking to build a church. Went to Willie Mitchell property, and Willie Mitchell, I wanted the church to purchase the property so we could build the church there. But these same people who he's in cahoots with, they said no. So he have an attitude with me, thinking that I didn't want to purchase the property. See, they got all kind of crap going on. But put a slander suit on LaTanya Correa. Put a slander suit on me. That's what I want y'all to do, because we can produce paperwork. But she thinks she was slick and smart by allowing these people to go forth. And her mother, your mother's name is not Glory Divine. Your mama on this paperwork. Your mama on these court papers. Your mama put all these people on the court paper. But because they getting called out, oh, she's screaming the house. Girl, please sit down.
Anyway. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the information got out there.
Yes.
It's on.
It's in court.
It's in court. I mean, it's whoever put it out there is out there. The check is out there. They saying stuff like that. So now the receipts are here.
The receipts are here.
You know, you got the receipt. That's why I always say, paperwork you can't dispute the facts if it's on paperwork, right? You just can't. You can't do it. That's why it's always good to have paperwork. That's why bylaws. I ran a union.
Let's hit that cause nobody. Cause what's going on now is that they wants to silence you, so they think that she can interrupt my show all with her foolishness. See me in court. See me in court. That's what you do. Take me to court, but you are not going to make this be a side show. This is not going to be a distraction for what we really need to talk about, and that's that election. That's what this whole thing. So go ahead,
that's
John.
What's really happening.
That's what's really happening.
So before we get into the election, somebody sent me a text this morning, and it sort of like motivated me.
And that's who is
because it motivated me. Because it'll lead into what I have to say. So this is what Donald Trump is saying about our kids, our black young men, right? And I want people to really listen to this, what Trump is saying.
Core, they're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals. Frankly, they were born to be.
And I want to speak directly to our children as well.
And the person that came on after him, that's Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, black brother. He's a black brother, and he do not punk down or bend to Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is saying that the Republican MAGA, Donald Trump, is saying that our kids are born killers.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And this motivated me because yesterday I was talking, I went to see Blight Andrews' library yesterday. Elvis was there. He's a black Republican, right? So he was there. And we was talking, and I kept telling the brother, I like you, but you're a Republican. I don't align with Republican views, right? I don't align with Republican views. That's what I was telling him, right? I was like, but as a brother, I like you. I like what you're doing. I like what you stomping for, anything. But here, you got the head Republican man, saying that our kids, our black young boys, are born killers, right? So Elvis, to you from me, I can't align with your views, right? And this is what I was telling you yesterday. I'm a Democrat. I don't jump ship when the ship is going down. I stay with the ship and I blow bubbles. That's what I do. Right? I'm not going to jump. Yeah, is the Democratic Party messed up? Yes, it is. Is the Hillsborough County Democrat Party never supported a black candidate? Yes, they did. And I was the one who said we should have been left them a long time ago because they didn't do that.
They tried. We gonna get into that about the Democrat. We got a whole lot because we're at next year. But we have a caller. Caller, go ahead. What you say really happened? Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Bishop Patty. As a member of your church, I just wanted to call and say I'm not sure why LaTanya calling in saying that you're lying on her, but she attended no church functions, no meetings, no anything going forward about any of this. Her and her family tried to steal the church's money. That this is what this is all about, and there's no lies being told. All she can do is scream and yell on the phone, "Don't lie on her! Don't lie on her!" What lies have you told?
Caller, and see that's what they don't know. The members of this church who was there, they're ready to deal with whatever foolishness. That's why I say file your lawsuit. You're not going to be screaming and hollering because we got documentation. Those members are there, and what they tried to do, thought they was going to dismantle the church. No, the members stayed intact because they're not going to follow foolishness. And so we thank you for that. I thank the members. I thank everybody that's been hanging on in there, and I thank everybody that we've been fighting the good fight. We're not going to give up. And you're right. She could scream, holler, jump from the rafters, and she thought she was smart by letting her mother, who is Glory Divine, who's on these lawsuit papers, thought that by her not saying that. And we got all kinds of stuff to prove that you behind this foolishness the whole 100 y'all. But it's Deborah Berry, your sister, all y'all, the family affair, Jean Gant, all of y'all, Willie Mitchell, we got, it's documented, it's right here. The paperwork don't lie. And the paperwork is what y'all put in the court. And you, carry on, sister. But anyway, that's it. We moved on because they want to be a distraction. And they thought that this election, by giving them and showing up, would have distracted me from this election. But it's done nothing.
But so what I was basically telling a brother yesterday, who's the Republican, right? That's Elvis, is that I don't align with the Republican views, right? He's like, but I'm a black man, but I'm just Republican. I'm like, so you're a black Republican. It still don't take away that you are a Republican. But then the moral of the story is this, right? They were saying that I'm messy, that I'm tearing people down, right? As a black man, I'm tearing people down, but I'm coming with facts on paper.
They don't want that.
But here's the thing, Miss Patty, they're not going to the news where they see the lady from, I think, Channel 28 hammering Joanna Colbert about not documenting all her assets and putting her on the spot. They don't see that.
But that's why these parasites are, John. And that's why
but then they're not knocking the news for Thomas Scott, who got that $15,000
proven,
and they put that out. But when I say it, or when we say it, we messy, we tearing people down, right? So I don't understand I don't understand the psychology of the people in Tampa, right? And then they tell us, then they told me, him and Jarvis, right? Don't come over in Tampa to do no work, right? Because we talking about the heart heart being dissolved and all that. And they said that no, we want the city buses. We don't want nothing out in the county because all the people is in the city, right? So they said
people in the county who has no transportation that has to get to work, have to do business, have to get down.
You know what he said? He said, y'all out there, they Jarvis and Elvis said, y'all out there in the county, y'all can drive. And I said, but what about the kids who may have to come to work?
No, not just the kids. You think about how gentrification has pushed people way out to Wild Mama, way out in Riverview. These young men and women has no vehicle. You got senior citizen who has no transportation. So but the Republican Party, that's how they feel about it. They don't care about poor people, how they get from point A to point B. And that's why we have this show, What's Really Happened, to show and explain what's going on.
But you know what I really liked about the conversation? Is when they called me, because I'm not born and raised in Tampa, they called me fake. But I like that because now I know your position.
But there's very few real people that were born here in Tampa. There's very few people originally born in Tampa. Most of the people are transplanted. And if you go back and look at their family tree, they came from Georgia, Alabama, blah, blah, blah.
But they calling people who's not from here fake. Right, we are fake, but I'm just the teachable moment. The teachable moment, right? So in other words, don't come into our city and help us, which is why the conditions
look like they are
because of the old recycled traditions is feeling the effects today.
And you look at
which is why we need new voices.
District 5 is one of the largest districts in Hillsborough, in the city of Tampa, and you look at East Tampa, how it look. It should be the role model. It should be seamless. It should be looking like these other places. But people don't want to have to deal with this foolishness.
Go ahead, Colin.
Hello.
Wait a minute. Oh, go ahead. You was listening. Go ahead. That's Elvis.
How you doing?
We blessed. Go ahead, Elvis.
I'm watching the show, Bishop, and I wanted to call in because anybody that know me know I'm very upfront, very direct, very transparent.
I want to say I've listened to John Green absolutely come on your show and lie. And I wouldn't expect nothing else from him to be a pathological liar. We had a very cordial conversation yesterday, laughing, joking, playing, but he need relevance to be relevant. However, what we stated yesterday is saying when you advocate in the city, you don't go in the county. We was talking about the buses being in the city. And the question basically, I was made the statement, and it was very clear. I said, if you live in the county, the people in the city is advocating for the people in the city. You don't live in the city. It wasn't a dig. It's all humor. It was all out of good fun and conversation. But he wanted to make it look like someone is attacking him. Never did I say to him about him talking about exposing and talking about things on the show, because everybody do that. And that's the purpose of really, if you do it, you ought to be able to be strong enough to be exposed about it. However, the reality was, I said to John Green, what you should do when you got a platform like Michelle B. Patty's show, Bishop Patty has gave you a platform. Perhaps you should actually educate yourself, study and learn something when you're talking, because you sound absolutely pathetic. And everything that you say out of your mouth technically don't even be accurate. So, Bishop, you actually do research and find things. Maybe you should give John some of your resources in how you actually find accurate information to discuss. And John, you don't have to tell a lie on me, because I'm very direct, in your face, honest person. I don't play that game. So don't go on the show and act like someone was attacking you at a poll, or someone was, it was good game, good humor. We laughed, we talked, nothing negative. It was all positive. But that would destroy his narrative if he said he was having a good time with me and Jarvis at a poll. Thank you, Bishop, for all you do, and continue to do what you do, and have a good day.
So let me just say this. I want to thank. I appreciate your call, but I wasn't there, and we're gonna let you say this. But I do want to commend Elvis, because it was physical craziness out there when I used to be out there a few years ago. And Elvis at heart came up to me, and Kathy Henry was trying to find a picture where he apologized. And actually we hugged. And so I do want to thank him for, and I told him this, I say, you have matured, because he used to be, with these same people dissing me and saying stuff. But once people get to know and meet me and talk, I'm talking about me now, John, and then I'm gonna let you defend you. But then they see a whole different side. And also something I should have did and said at the beginning of the show, and right now I miss him and I miss Miss D thoroughly, is Terrence Lenoir. He passed away Wednesday. Terrence used to be, he would type on the show what this person said, that person said, so we could maintain accuracy. So those who may or may not know, Terrence went home to glory, and my husband and I was with him at that 4:30 that evening, Tuesday, John, and he passed away that Wednesday morning. But I like to say that I love him. I'm going to miss him. He was very supportive of the church. He was supportive of me, Crop for Christ, and he was somebody on that other side, riding with people that was dissing me. And then when he found out that Bishop Patty don't be back down from nothing to nobody, don't have to tell lies, that I have the facts, then Terrence and I got to be very good friends, and I'm glad that I was one of the people at his ending. So go ahead, John.
So thank you, Elvis, for calling in and clearing up and validating what I was saying. Yes, we did have fun out there. We was talking, but I'm sticking to the facts though, right? Regardless of what you say about me not researching or whatever, I bring documents. I have documentation. I always talk about documentation, right? And in terms of, and like I said, and like I told you, I like you as a brother, right? I like you as a brother, but that's not going to stop me from saying or giving my opinion of what the conversation about. And I said, and it was Jarvis. You was going along with Jarvis saying that.
But Jarvis is not from here. He's not from Tampa. He was not born and raised in Tampa. I mean, are you aware of that?
Yeah, I know. I think he's from Georgia.
Yeah, he's
or
from
Savannah or somewhere.
No, it's some part of Georgia, a little small town. So that, like I said, people.
So you know, yeah, we was out there and we was talking. So it was cool, and I kept telling him, I like you, bro. But there's nothing wrong with having differences of opinions.
And that's what
you know what I mean.
Don't seem to understand in this city.
And that one more thing.
Yeah.
And I never said that you attacked me. I never said that it was like an attack. We was exchanging ideas. So in terms of attacking, I don't know where you getting that from, right?
And why people can't in this city agree to disagree? Why is it white people and just like that you got them on opposite side, but whenever somebody hit that seat, they all come in. Look at Donald Trump. They know the man lie. They know the man do this thing. But guess what? They right there. I'm not saying we should be supporting lying or doing crazy stuff, but I'm just making an analogy as here. But I want to go across the border for 1 minute before we introduce our candidate here. Cross the water. Nobody can convince me that every politician, everybody that's in seats over there, I'm talking about black people, that they love each other. But I see them come together for the good of that city. St. Petersburg, the black community is moving. They are moving forward. But as long as you have parasites who rather look at lies, rather go with AI, do all kind of things, say all kind of things, then you get people want to scream and holler. But my thing is, dude, you got things that you could prove it. And yes, prove it, but they don't think that I would have the guts. They didn't think and I don't know why, because people they should know by now. I have the courage to stand 10 toes down and call it like it is. Okay.
But this is the thing, Miss Patty. He sat here and said that we was having a good time.
Yeah.
So what would be the problem now? Because I'm saying I don't support his views. I don't support the Republican view, Hillary Allison.
Because Elvis used to be a Democrat.
Right, he told me that.
Right,
he
was
told
a
me
Democrat, and I was a little surprised when he switched to Republican. But I guess because the Republicans are in power, but we see people switching back and forth. But the person who has not switched and has unapologetically stand strong with the Republican is Allison Hewitt. There's if y'all go on Howard, next to the post office, there's a beauty parlor right there next to the post office, and here. There was a sign, Allison Hewitt's sign was in this beauty parlor door where you could see it. A lady called her and told her, said, do you know that Allison Hewitt is a Republican? And the lady said, no, she did not tell me that when she asked to put the sign. The lady looking at it, she's being black, and of her age, the lady probably saying, well, this black woman, surely with all Medicaid being cut, SNAP being cut, 13-year-olds now being able to go to prison for life. All the stuff that the Republican Party Alcatraz, with all this stuff that is going down, surely she wouldn't be. They don't think she's a Republican. But go by there now. That lady took that sign. The lady took the sign out of her door. Period. Because she was not aware who Allison Hewitt is. But Evans is out front. And he just became.
And one other thing, right here in Hillsborough County, the county commissioners who are Republicans, right? Majority of them just cut $8,000 from the budget for housing from home.
But then she had these people fooled out there that she gonna through the CRA she gonna get them housing. How can you get them housing when your leader she sit on that seat? She got to follow what DeSantis say, what Trump say, as they will come down hard, and we see what they do. If you step out of line as a Republican and you sitting on the city council, county commission, state senator, you will be mud. So people know your politics. F, we got a call. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I promise you, I'm going to be very brief. This
Go ahead, Elvis.
Again.
I love this because people need. Wait a minute, Elvis,
yes,
1 second. We love this because we having a debate, and people need to have. This is what American democracy is all about. Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, when John first came up, I greeted him and I basically said to him, I said, hey, I often hear that you talk about me being Republican. I said, make no mistake, I am unapologetically Black. I've been Black all my life. I will advocate for Black. I will never get to a place where I forget where I come from and who I am. He constantly pushes, and I mentioned anything to John because he was in inboxes of people that were supporting me saying, hey, he's a Republican. I said to John, it's no secret, I'm a registered Republican. I said, for me, at the end of the day, I believe, this is my own conviction, I believe that I have sat in the Democratic Party in Hillsborough County. I have watched them absolutely not support Black candidates. I have watched them in the Hillsborough County Democratic Party be disrespectful to African American people. I said to him, don't get it twisted because I'm Republican, that it's by no means a different scenario or mindset that I won't sit among the leaders of the Republican Party and say at the end of the day, I'm not going to tolerate any mishandling or mistreatment of African American people. East Tampa and no other place. I'm going to advocate for my own. And I said to him, I heard you mention that Ariel, please forgive me, she's a phenomenal candidate. I love who she is. We've had a great relationship. That she was the only person that would advocate for Hart. He said, well, you only came one time. I said, Bishop Patty had made a call to action, and mentioned something nobody even knew. My father had worked for Hart for 15 years. Nobody knew that that was even an issue until Bishop Patty mentioned it. When she mentioned it, I came down. I supported, even though we was not seeing eye to eye. I showed up. I talked about, let's make sure people are treated fairly. I said, John, you told her she's not the only one that will act for the treatment and making sure their Hart employees will be treated fairly. That's all I said. It was no digs. It was no disrespect. I just basically spoke to him like men should do, not with animosity, not with any anger or malice, but just letting him know at the end of the day, whether he's Republican, whether you Democrat, you Black. And I'm a die Black. Independent, Republican, Green Party, you can put any party system you want. You're African American. And there's racist Republicans, there's racist Democrats. At the end of the day, it's about advocating for what is right. That is what it's about. Advocating and making sure people are treated fairly. And that's what I always would do. And that's who I am. And I will continue to speak truth to power. And so that's where I stand. And I just did not appreciate sitting on the phone listening to him act as if that someone we was having a heated or a debate or it was just, again, I repeat, it was fun and game. We laughed, we chatted, we talked, we bounced off ideas. We talked about this and talked about that. I asked him, y'all typically say that nothing can happen in the city without 4 votes. If that one seat is Republican and everybody else is Democrat, clearly they wouldn't have no power according to you need 4 votes to do anything. It was under the Democratic leadership of 7 Democratic candidates and city councilmen that we talk about gentrification that's happening in East Tampa. It is under you had a Democratic mayor for God knows how long. You've had a Democratic city council for God knows how long. While we here, that's what I mentioned to him. And so if that you just need 4 votes to get anything passed, one Republican that is not doing and don't have the heart for the people won't get nothing passed if they try to come against East Tampa. And that's what I mentioned to him. Where did Biking While Black happen? It was under a Democratic city council. It was under a Democratic mayor. Let's not forget.
And Evans, I want to thank you because now let's be transparent, John. The late Councilman Frank Reddick, and I can hear him now saying Elvis was right about the Democratic Party because they never supported or gave him any money, and that's why he was able to stand up and fight. But let's just say for Elvis. But I got to give him.
But here's the thing. I told Elvis I agree with him for everything that he said.
And you know what? But you know what I do like about him? The difference in him and Allison. Now he just went on record saying that he's going to advocate for District 5. He's going to be Black. Allison haven't went on record saying none of that. He's went on, Elvis is on record, is saying that he for housing, for blah, blah, blah. We have not heard that from Allison Hewitt on record. She's been silently and trying to convince people. She's a rattler, let's give her that, but she's been trying to convince people that she is not a Republican. But now I have to appreciate that.
And like I told him, I said I appreciate everything that he does do. I just don't identify or align with Republican views.
Right.
And and about the guy that's supporting him. The guy asked me to support him. So I asked the guy, do you align with Republican views? Yes, I was on his page because I know the dude, right? I know the guy. I know the guy that he's talking about. And the guy asked me, will I support him in something? And I said, or do you align with Republican views?
And
right?
did he ever answer?
He never answered. He never answered yet, right? And yes, I did go on the page, and I told the guy that this is a Republican.
And Vicky Patty, we are going over today because we had to deal with the church stuff, which is documented, and we showed the documentation. That's like maybe what made people mad because we got paperwork. But anyway, so we knew we was going to go over today, and we're going to talk to RL Danley in one short minute. But the bottom line is, perhaps with him getting that seat, he's saying he would be still that champion for the people. But I have not seen or heard Allison Hewitt say she's going to be out of line with what the Republican Party is doing. So he could be that lone wolf that go there if he get there and say, now I'm gonna change. My convictions are still with my people. I'm still a black man, no matter what. So Elvis, I appreciate that because we need transparency. We need courageous people with courage to stand up and speak. And at the end of the day, I just seen a love fest. I think we all gonna be all right here. I feel like
I said, I have nothing against Elvis. I told him I like what he's doing and all that other stuff. At least he's doing it.
Yes,
and you know what I mean. At least he's a black man who's standing up and not code switching when you're around different people.
And I
get that, but I still don't align.
No, and we don't align up with nothing that is hurting, not just black people, but poor people. I'm looking at how ISIS just did this raid, and these people that they rounded up, they legal people. They're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm looking at the martial law that started out in California and is trickling on down. Next, we will have martial law. That's what it is when you bring in the truth. I'm looking at all this kind of stuff. See, people want to take you off of focus of what really is going on with our people in this community. Baby, we in some serious trouble, and we gonna come together. Just like Jesus said, every knee gonna bow and every tongue gonna confess that he is Lord. That's what's finna happen, whether you're a Republican, Democrat. If you poor, we finna unite on one front. You understand me? And Elvis, this ain't got nothing to do with the politics. Boy, you've been really sharp. I just got to give him that kudos. He had on a bad jacket and a shirt. I said, look at Mr. Elvis, he clean. So Elvis, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you calling. We appreciate the honesty, because on this program, we even take the screamers, the holler, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the paperwork.
And my brother, if I hurt your feelings, let me be the bigger man, apologize to you. But I stand on what I believe in. So if that means anything to you, let me say that to you, because I'm not trying to hurt any more brothers, right? But I have to make my stance clear.
But if he and I'm not putting words in my mouth. It almost sounds like he's going to use whatever means is necessary to get where he can go to be of a benefit to his people. Now that's what I got. I don't know, but I'm not putting words in your mouth. But let's get to Miss R.L. Amir Danley, and I love the fact that they do have a nice relationship, because at the end of the day, it's only one person out of this 14 that's going to sit in that seat, and whoever sit in that seat has got to work with this community, bring it together. And that's what Councilwoman Gwen Henderson, as she said on the heart board, fighting for the hard drivers, fighting for the COVID pay, fighting against the HIPAA law. That's what was being done. District 5 was moving along, and now, unfortunately, she passed away, and we have these problems.
Hey, Elvis, if we can go have a beer, you can throw it on me, man.
No, we ain't finna do. We ain't have no speaking.
No, that's what we was talking about.
Ariel, she can sit right there. She got to sit here. But how we was able to get off here?
We had.
Oh, okay. Ariel, if you don't mind sitting here, John, I still want you to sit there, and maybe he can go back and forth as we're talking about Ms. Ariel Amir Dantley. I want to, John, can you come here right quick 1 minute, because I want you to show something to the camera. I just want whoever sitting in that seat that we don't bring baggage to that seat. We don't bring the Ben Banneker's. We don't bring the Michelle Williams. We don't bring these nasty, vicious people to the seat. Now, and I'm going to apologize that we have this type of people, unfortunate, in our community. I'm apologize to you, but I'm going to read this because I think the community should know. So we're going to say this already, but Ben Banneker paid, and he or she or whomever, they're nothing but cowards and parasites. It said, sorry, fam, but Team BB got to speak truth to power. Why are we even considering a candidate with the same eating habits as her mom for this seat? Also, a 71-year-old guy that just had cancer isn't a better solution either. District 5 about to be in a special election again in a few weeks, called these MFs ain't got the longevity. Now, people, if you subscribe to that kind of foolishness, that seat is in trouble. If you subscribe to that kind of foolishness, this is why we got to have people going to that seat that is going to bring credibility, going to restore honesty, going to restore dignity. And Ariel, that's what your late mother was doing, and we appreciate her. So good morning, Ms. Ariel.
Good morning.
God bless you for coming out.
Thank you.
We first of all, what we want to talk to you, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the folks.
My name is Ariel Amir Danley. I am a candidate for the District 5 seat for Tampa City Council. Most of you know at this point that my mother is the late councilwoman, the Honorable Gwendolyn Henderson, the 16th councilwoman in the city of Tampa, and running to honor that legacy. So if you're new, that's who I am. I am the representative of the legacy that already holds this seat. And you're gonna have to forgive me because we've been out canvassing and getting the word out, so my voice is a little hoarse, but I am definitely still here and present and ready to be with you. I wanted to just comment on where the conversation left off. And mind you, it does have nothing to do with me. I did not know Elvis Piggott before this race started and before I saw his declaration in this particular race. Of course, I knew about his previous attempts to run for office, but I have enjoyed being a candidate alongside Elvis. But what I will say is that Elvis did tell me that if he knew how much this seat meant to me, that he would have lined up next to me as opposed to putting his name on this ballot.
Wow.
So that is what I want to say as it relates to my relationship with Elvis. And Elvis, I wish I would have known that sooner. Okay? Because I definitely would have said the words that you needed to hear. But we're here now, and it's been a very respectful rapport between the two of us. And so I just, I hate to hear him all upset this morning, actually.
But I think they're all right. Ariel, see, this politics, we talk, we debate.
Absolutely.
And it's good because now the community can see that we can debate and still have a relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's what Black folks need to learn in this city. You don't have to hate each other, mad the rest of your life because something didn't go your way or this and that. And that's what we're going to have to do to bring things together.
And I do understand the concept of being the spook that sat by the door. I think that's what Elvis is describing. But I just think that the time that we're in right now, that approach is just, it's not timely.
Correct.
But I understand what he's saying, and I do have respect for him.
I want to pick up, and John, we're gonna have to have that camera moved over a little bit when Deacon Patty come back, because I want to start at heart.
He on.
at Heart. He's on okay. I'm gonna start at Heart because John Green and I, we had been going down, and I don't know, maybe Elvis only heard that one call, but we had been calling for the public to come down every month to the Heart Board because first the fight started by COVID. We was by these drivers. We had people that died. A young lady told me she lost her baby due to COVID, and they took their COVID pay and did not, give the drivers who's on that front line their pay. And then it went from there to the HIPAA law that they was telling them that they had to bring in their diagnosis. And I challenged that, and thank God that Councilwoman Gwen Henderson, because we do have other Black folks and people on that board, was saying nothing. They just looked and you spoke and all right, your little 3 minutes up, and they sat down. But Elvis was there that day, and that was the day that he and I hugged, and we made our amends, and I accepted his apology. But now, what I think started the Heart thing, you were down there in front of Heart. We was there, and you were speaking about Heart. So what do you think about the bus drivers, the COVID? They said, give us a little bit, because we got a lot of Heart drivers that listen to this program.
Sure. So it's just about morals and integrity and making sure that we're doing the right thing by people, the people who are holding up our community, which is what I was trying to speak to. And it is unfortunate that the COVID funds that were allocated toward Heart were not ultimately shared with the people that were on the front lines. And so right is right and fair is fair in it. And so we're just, advocating for the drivers and being a voice for the people who feel voiceless ultimately. And I know that's something that my mother did, and that's something that I want to continue to do. And it's not so much about picking fights. I just know where my mother left off, and I'm looking to continue.
Now, that's something you had a personal conversation with a lady that retired.
Well, one of my friend's mothers actually was a Heart driver for many years and happened to be on the front lines during COVID as well. And after, they're saying we're in another uptick of COVID right now, but at that point, once COVID had kind of, died down a little, she retired. And now that the funds are potentially in litigation, maybe to distribute them more equitably amongst every person, they're saying that because of her retirement status, she won't have access even though she was on the front lines. And that's just another nuance of the situation that I feel is unfair.
Yes, that's unfair. And I'm John, we're going to pull you in this conversation.
Well, I want to answer about the retirement. You had mentioned something that I didn't tell you. I actually didn't tell you any of this.
No, of course
but
not.
Tell them about the piece where Heart made the business decision.
Well, I'm glad that you said that you didn't tell me, because the beautiful thing is you didn't have to, because I was there when my mother was dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened is they switched companies. Heart switched in companies. The company that was ultimately going to be offering the retirement package to Heart's employees. And so a part of that process was calling meetings so that the Heart drivers could know that they were switching providers and that they needed to make a choice about how they wanted their package to show up on the other side of their retirement. However, a lot of people missed that clarion call, and I even cautioned myself to call it a clarion call because clarion calls are pretty effective. So this, their outreach, I would say, was not as effective as it could have been with making sure that every single driver knew about the provider change so that they could make the right decision for their future. And so I just think that there could have been a better job done of letting people know that the change was happening and how it was going to affect them.
And John, and I want people to know who you are. You were the vice president of the union. Correct. For Heart. You drove for Heart for how many years? So you know the ins and out of Heart. So you've been speaking from that premise. So go ahead, John.
So what RAL was saying, just to piggyback on that, is that when they did that switch, it was a business move to save them money, right? So they saving money on the backs of, you say the drivers, but it's the drivers, it's the Heart Plus drivers, it's the maintenance, the mechanics, customer service, and streetcar.
Wow.
Right? So just to clarify that's the whole bargaining unit. So when they did that switch, it was to save money for Hart, in which they still running in a deficit, right? So they do things on the backs of the employees, yes, to benefit the top rank, and that's been who they are, and so Ariel. But one thing did happen while you were there speaking that day at the drive. The bathroom. It was a gentleman that got off. He said he was handicapped. His wife. And he showed us where the door they headed down, that the people could not use the bathroom. And the man said they would have to go out. Or promoting them going to use the bathroom in grass. But right there, they opened those bathroom doors because you were there and you were speaking about what they had not done. But it was something else you said that I wasn't aware of, is the bus bench, the benches. Yes, because the route that my mother was taking home from City Hall to our bookstore and to our home is the route that passes by the transfer station where we were standing. And at this time, they had taken all the benches off of the rails so that people couldn't have a proper place to sit. Maybe promoting them not being there. I'm not sure. That's I don't want to overly assume or state, but nonetheless, the seats were gone. And so when my mom noticed that on her drive home, of course she came home, very bothered by it. And I heard about it very quickly. But the next city council meeting, she absolutely went up there and advocated for them to put the benches back on the rails, because this is about dignity. And as I was saying, it's not a crime to be a part of the least among us. It's not a crime to be unhoused. And so everyone deserves their dignity. And so they absolutely turned around and put those benches back on the rails immediately after that meeting. Because of strong voice. We're going to go to the phone line. Caller, you say what's really happening.
Bishop Michelle B. Patty.
Go ahead, Mr. Joe Robinson.
John Green.
Yes, sir, Mr. Robinson.
Hi, Mr. Robinson.
Man, y'all hot today and getting it straight out the way. Listen to me. We're down to the final line. Let me just say a few things here. One, I support Ariel Danley, period. 100%. Ariel represents Democrats, Republicans, Hispanic, Black, Asian, LGBTQ, XYZ. Now, when you get in the office, you got to represent everybody. So that's why I'm supporting her. And people of different races, backgrounds, parties giving her funds to run her thing. And we need her in there. We don't need nobody that was in there, and we still got problems. Let me give you some breaking news. Black folks, Cobra, NAACP, breaking news. With all the efforts y'all done over the last 30 years, Thursday, the Hillsborough County Aviation Authority eliminated the minority business program with the vote of 5 people. Gone. History. Don't exist no more.
Who?
That's right. The minority business program for blacks, women, and anybody else racial conscious is gone with the vote of 5 people. Let me move on. I was the only person now speaking up against it, but I said I'd go along with it because they did replace it with a small business enterprise program that completely mirrored the minority business program to get around Trump and the board. Second, did you know yesterday, breaking news, Michelle B. Patty show, breaking news, the city of Tampa just suspended its minority business program yesterday. Where's Toba, NAACP, and everybody, y'all are black talking about black business, minority business? Where you at? You know where you at? You're scared. Joe Robinson ain't scared. They already want to have a meeting with me. But I'm telling them, hey, let's go to small business enterprise because it'll work the same way. Got to get around the Trump and the boss for a minute. So I'm just telling you, we sitting there talking all this talking. We talking about black folks moving forward, and they just eliminated 30 to 40 years of us fighting to get an ordinance on that. And the man that got the ordinance, where was he at? Reverend Scott, he the one created the ordinance for the city of Tampa. Where is he at? He ain't done cancel it with the stroke of a pen. Okay, with somebody saying suspended, running scared, and it was done by the disparity study. We fought for that. Well, it ain't gonna affect me because I know how to deal with everybody around here. But I'm here standing up for black folks, and they scared, and all they want to do is be elitists. They have become elitists. These people that are supposed to be leading, they ain't keeping up with nobody down here broke. They ain't down here keeping up with nobody on the street. They are elitist. They want the glamour, the photo ops, and the title, but they don't want to do the job. Ariel, running your race, you are now, congratulations, the leader in fundraising. As of yesterday, you have raised more money than Bishop Scott and all of them. Period. Regardless how you got it, your numbers is higher than all of them. So the bottom line is, keep doing what you're doing. I got your back. The FBI probably got your back. And all I'm going to say is that the truth shall be told. And I'm telling you now, on the Michelle B. Patty show. Let me go hit my golf ball. I don't have to cut the yard today. I'm going to get out on the golf course, play with some golf. Okay, see y'all later. Now, keep up the good work. And let me tune back in on my phone. God
Go
bless
ahead.
you.
Go ahead, Joe, and we really needed that because more now than ever, you got to have a strong voice who is not connected to anyone on that seat. You go ahead. We're gonna take this caller, and then we're gonna talk about some of these endorsement and money. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. How's it going?
Hey, it's going. It is going. Go ahead, Michael.
I have a question for Ariel.
Oh,
what does
Mr.
it feel
Randolph.
like to be black? What does it feel like to be black, gifted, and young?
I feel so blessed and grateful for the position that God has put me in, and for the position that my mother has left me in, and for the fact that there are so many good people like yourself, like Mr. Robinson, who just called in, like Bishop Patty and Mr. Green sitting next to me, who have been willing to stand in the gap for my mother and continue to lift me up and support me. I'm so grateful for that. But I do owe you an apology because I missed the forum on the 4th because I was out there losing my voice, riding around on the golf cart, making sure people knew that this election was going on. And before I looked up, I said, oh my gosh, how could I miss Mr. Randolph? So I'm so sorry.
Oh, we got nothing but love for you. Don't even worry about it. We got nothing but love for you, and we still stand behind you 100%.
Well, you can believe I was out there on the ground. I was not sitting somewhere cooling my heels. So I just sincerely thank you for your support, and I promise I will, do what you're trusting me to do.
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you in office.
Thank you so much. We got callers steady trying to call. Is somebody on there now? You can call right back. Go ahead, caller. You say what's really happening.
Good morning. Good morning. This is a call to uplift each and every one of you. Ariel, we love you. We support you. And most importantly, we are voting for you. Michelle B. Patty, Bishop Michelle B. Patty. I want to say to you, keep going. Keep going. And remember, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. We're lifting you up in prayer. We are covering you in the blood of Jesus. John, stand tall, stand strong. You guys are doing a great job. As far as I'm concerned, Ariel is in the lead. She's in the lead. They're scared, and we must stand together. United together, and we will win. We win when we work together. I'm proud of you guys. I thank God for you, and keep going. Keep going, because we are here right with you. From the sidelines to the front line, we are supporting each and every one of you. Ariel, your mother is proud. She's smiling down, and God is going to continue to give you the strength that you need to endure. Keep going. Keep going, my people. Keep going.
Thank you so much. That gave me chills.
Yeah, me too, man.
I want to talk about
Absolutely. It's all from the heart. We love you guys, whatever it is. But we are out here, and we are supporting, lifting Miss Michelle Bishop
Michelle B. Patty. We know a lot that you've been through, but not once have you wavered, not once have you backed down. You stood tall, and we're going to continue to pray for our enemies. We're going to pray for Michelle Williams, because Michelle Williams threatened that if you did this show today, that there will be a mugshot of you. We waiting for the mugshot. There isn't going to be a mugshot because you did not commit any crimes. And we're proud of you for that. We're proud of you for your members. Your members are standing with you. Thank you, members. Thank you for the blood of Jesus. You guys keep going. Hold your head up. We support you 100%.
Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate that. And she said them all and everything. Ditto. All right. We see people been calling me saying they sick of all these flyers that coming from Bishop Scott. One person told me, said they use it as a coffee holder, put their coffee cup on it. And then they're saying about people touting that they're these endorsement. What you feel about that? How are you bought by? Because one thing we do know, when those developers put money on all of you, they expect a return. So have anybody bought you, or how you feel about it? Are you the people? Explain that to us.
Well, what I'll say is every single dollar that I raised little by little from the people supporting me. And one thing that my mother always taught me was, if you're expecting other people to support you, then you need to be willing to support yourself. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday at the reporting, I made sure that I stood up for myself, just like the people are standing up for me, and matched the funds that people have given to me bit by bit. And so that is what made us a front runner in fundraising, is because I supported myself. Just like my mother taught me to do, I invested in myself. And so you have a candidate here that believes in the people, and I believe in myself, and I think that's what's most important. I've been endorsed by the people. I've been endorsed by several small businesses, woman-owned businesses, minority-led businesses. I am a small business owner. I've owned my own business and been able to do that successfully for 11 years. So I've been endorsed by the people. And I just think that we are ushering in a new way of doing things.
And when you, the people, because when those investors and developers and all, they expect a return on their dollar. John, what you have to say about it?
Well, first let me speak to the last caller, like to the Empress, which is y'all, and to our youth who's coming into the game. Now, I just have to say this: since Trump has took office, over 300,000 women, Black women, who is the backbone of the Black culture, whether the men want to admit it or not, has lost their jobs, right? This is why we need the younger voice, the young innovative, the young energy to move this culture to the next level. We can no longer deal with tradition. Tradition is killing us right now. Mm-hmm. So to the young lady, thank you. Yes, I am going to stand tall just because you said it. Yes. And I want to be here to protect our women, because our women is being targeted.
And we thank you for that, John. It's only a few men that I could call on that would just come out. And then I look at some pastors, back to when this young man lost his job at Milton. Nobody made a call. I made the call. And we had two pastors to come out. And that was Pastor Tom Jones of Heaven Destiny, and we had Pastor Timothy Kemp from Peace, and that young and Vivian, the late Vivian Haywood. And I didn't realize how sick she was when we went down with my husband. He was a part of that, to the Civil Service Board, and we fought for that young man to get his job back. And today he's back over at Milton working. See, people try to destroy me. And they came out with all this stuff, Ariel, and I'm going to have to apologize to you again, because what they thought that by trying to discredit me, it was going to hurt you. But what it did, it actually boomerang because a lot of people didn't even realize this race was going on. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't even realize your mom had passed. And so people came out and saying, what can we do? I told them, if you live, you don't even have to live in District 5. If you live there, and if you know somebody, if you don't live there, and you know somebody in District 5, what you can do is make sure they go to the poll and vote for R.L. Amir Danley. That's what you can do for me. And that's why I'm still walking on that cloud, because the outpouring love and support, because they know that nobody has been a champion than we have. And I was a champion against John before you came to the city. But anyway, but Ariel, you also went to the corner of MLK and 22nd Street, and there was nothing there. It was an empty lot. Why you chose to go there? What was so significant about that?
Well, that lot has been a gas station, a filling station, whatever. I got actually a little teased there, like filling station. I'm like, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah,
we can
back in the day,
a laundromat or a laundromat or a washerette, whatever you want to call it.
Back in the day,
yeah, exactly. So it's a gas station, a filling station, a bodega, a corner store, and it
the fact it was there.
It was there, right?
And
it
was
fed
a
the people, and it's no longer there. Why it's no longer there? How we got to the place that it's no longer there? It's not there. That's what the point is. And East Tampa feels like a food desert. It feels like it's lacking resources, and so the point is that we have an opportunity as neighbors, as community, to link arms, engage with our CAC, that in turns engage with our CRAs and is going to partner with the developers so that we can have a voice in deciding what we want on the properties that are still available to be a pathway to build up our community and to put something there that is useful to us.
Because the people, they have to go either on Nebraska to find a gas station or 34th in Hillsborough. But that area, you still have public housing, Bama Heights, Jackson, where they, and a lot of kids still play, our grandson played baseball, where they could, when they walk across, they can walk across the street, get them something to drink or eat or whatever. And you don't have that now.
And I'm not sure how many of you have had a long day where you're running around and getting things done and your gas tank keeps warning you, but you can't hear it because your mind is somewhere else. And then before you look at it, your odometer is reading 2 miles before you run out of gas. I have run out of gas in East Tampa before, and it's unfortunate, it's scary, and you should be able to find something in walking distance that can help you get out of that situation.
I've been hearing you say seamless because out here, John, in the county, we have gas stations like churches. I don't have to cross this side of the street to go to a gas station. I got one at whatever side of the street I'm on, I can pull over and get gas. So now, what you mean by seamless? A lot of people, what do you mean by that?
Seamless. So when you're taking a ride through our city, whatever district you're coming from or rolling to, you shouldn't be able to tell what side you're on based on the maintenance and the upkeep and the development of the area. When you're in Hyde Park, you shouldn't be able to have a nice brunch in Hyde Park and then drive back home to your home in East Tampa and it looks like you've entered into a completely different dimension. It should look consistent.
Right. And I'm doing something because somebody texts me, but I want you to address because and it lets you know that people who supported other candidates, they're worried about you. Because if you could put on Facebook, oh, she was on her phone, that's the best you could do. So could you address when you was at the forum, I think something was going on with one of your supporters out there in the audience while you was on the phone that you had texted you out of concern for her. Could you tell people that's why you was on the phone?
I cannot, because I'm not here to defend myself. I'm here to defend the needs of District 5. But I will ask you, who are these uncircumcised Philistines that have the nerve to defy the living army of God? Okay? We are, and even Miss Patty has cautioned me to promoting that we have a chance to win without forcing a runoff. But what I am saying to you is I'm not asking you about what man believes is possible. I'm asking you to support how big my faith is. Okay, because we're not talking about man, we're talking about faith. And as far as I'm concerned, and the last time I checked, my God is still sitting on the throne.
Come on now.
And the blood of Jesus still works.
Come on now.
So that's where we are. So if you consider yourself to be a general in God's army, if you consider yourself to be a soldier, then line up with me and help me storm these gates on September 9th.
Let me ask you a question.
Wow.
Coming back, bringing it back to heart. What do you think? How do you feel about heart? About the commissioners trying to dissolve heart right now? What's your views on that?
I think it's harmful, and I did say it on our live that it does feel a little bit like a political football, leaving the community in limbo of our leadership trying to figure out who's going to take up the financial responsibility to make sure that us as community, us as residents, constituents have several different modalities and safe ways to get where we need to go in the city. And heart is a big component of that. So instead of passing the water pail to someone else and asking them to carry it, I think it's just an unfortunate situation that that body of people didn't see it necessary to support heart, but here we are.
And let me build on this. So with the heart situation being dissolved, let me just caution the people. It's only in talks right now, right? They're talking about writing this proposal, which was supposed to be done by the end of October, right? By the end of October, it's supposed to go to the floor and I think it's Michael Owen, who's a senator up in Tallahassee, and Joshua Warsaw.
And Michael Owens used to be on the county commission. See the connection?
Right.
He sit there.
And that's who Joanna is connected with.
Yes, Joanna Colbert
is connected with Michael Owen. So with this proposal, it's supposed to they're supposed to finish by the end of October, take it to the floor. And if it passes, then and only then the city will have 2 to 4 years to prepare itself to take over the system just for the city.
And you know something, John? A lot of people, and that's why this show is so important. A lot of people don't even know what is going on, especially those that live out in the county, that they can lose their bus transportation, who depend on that transportation. You even have kids who do the transfer to go in the inner city from out here in the county to attend schools like Howard W. Blake High School. So that bus is so important that the buses continue to run. And the city has enough on their hand trying to deal with the water, this and that. So I'm glad, Ariel, that you're on top of your research, and that's what's important. The research, and you know what's going on. Because I haven't heard any candidate, and obviously you actually sat on the heart board.
When I was there.
When you was there. Okay, she should be sounding the alarm. All this about Allison to do it, but when she gonna do something? Because this has been a voice that is needed, not just for the heart driver, but people depend on that transportation to get to the hotels, your maids, your bus boys, your minimum wage jobs, the hospital, the nursing home, all these kind of things. And if that's taken away, it's going to be devastating.
For sure. So what I want to do, I want to take this opportunity, like Game Changer came about through the bargaining unit, which is the union at heart. So all the game changers who still stick with me, I need for y'all to get on the phone.
Yes.
Make them phone calls.
Yes.
Tell your people who lives in Sulphur Springs, East Tampa, West Tampa, downtown, Ybor City, Palmetto. Call them, get on the phone. Let's activate this union. Because I said we could the ATU 1593. That union can be one of the power players in the city, in the county of Hillsborough, right? If we activate our people, right? So all the game changers who stuck in there and hung in there, and we had to go underground because they was targeting all the game changers who work for Heart. So let's activate this. Let's get them phone calls in, take somebody to the polls, and vote Ariel Danley for this.
Ariel, because we went over today, but the time was well spent. So I want you to tell the people that, and as today and tomorrow, right now, people, early voting has been going on since Thursday. It started at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It'll be today and tomorrow, which is Sunday, the last day to vote. You could go on Orient Road here to the Bob Gilder place to vote. That's the supervisor election office. You can go downtown Tampa, which is the pink building, the county center. You can go to MLK with the C. Black Andrews Library, and you can go to West Tampa Library and vote. But you must get in there. And a lot of people, they say in the rain, Joanna said, black people don't come out when it rains. So I don't know, black people, if you one of those that Joanna Colbert say y'all don't come out when it rains. So if you one of those that don't come out when it rains, you need to get over to the poll. So what is, on day one, and I heard this, it's something that people talk about sitting on board, we want people who don't sit on board, but, and I'm gonna say this respectfully and lovingly, Scott, Bishop Thomas Scott, now he sat on city council for 2 terms. He sat on the county commission. Look where this district is. So all this sitting on any board, what does that have to do? Talking about on the job training. That's what we might need, some people who come with a new idea, new perspective, not the same old, same old. So Ariel, I'm not putting words in your mouth. What do you want to tell the people before we leave?
The late John Michel Basquiat, an African-American artist, said a quote that always stuck with me, and that is, there are no new ideas, just old ideas running through a new mind. And so I respect my elders, I respect the people who have attempted to lead before this moment. However, the new minds that you all have raised are ready. We are ready. We have stayed in the oven long enough. We have been patient. We have waited our turn, and now the time is now. And what I'm asking is for you to trust that you have raised us well. And something that I said yesterday to Mr. Green standing in the C. Blythe parking lot is, even with my mother, there was a time in our relationship where she said to herself, she has to learn how to be a parent to an adult. And so with that change, I know there will be some hiccups. I know that it won't always be easy in this torch passing process, and you all, will still will hold on to the reins, but it's time. And I'm just asking that now that the millennials are ready, the elder millennials, the millennials are ready to step up and be the voice of the people, to protect the babies, to protect our elders, to protect the least among us, and try to get sharper with this next rep. I'm just asking for your support. And I know that the tension is getting high right now. A lot of us, we've all spent money, a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to put our names on the ballot. And so tension is getting high, but I am staying the course. I'm staying focused on the finish line, and I can get over the finish line with the victory if you link arms with the living army of God, as I said before, and help me storm the gates.
And Ariel, with that being said, a lot of people, I think we have energized the voters, but I don't want people to leave here because people always can flip and twist things. You're not, and they say, oh, she don't support older people, she ready to throw them out, or it's all about the young people. And that's not, I know that's not what you're saying.
Well, listen, my grandmother was bedbound for the last 5 years of her life, and she lived in the home with me and my mother, and that was my responsibility to partner with my mother and take care of my original elder, my matriarch, as she was transitioning out. So don't allow anyone to lead you to believe that I don't care about the people who kept me safe, kept me clean, fed me. Not only do I support you, I want to protect you. And it's not because I think I'm smarter. It's just because you all have already done the work. And I pray to get to a place where I'm as blessed to be your age, Miss Patty, and I have to, ice my knees after 40 years of hard work of fighting for my community. Like, I want that. And while I want that for myself, I also know that right now it is my responsibility to say, you deserve a little break, Miss Petty.
And I appreciate it. Trust me, I deserve it, and I appreciate it because I feel.
And I'm here to stand in the gap.
I feel.
But Miss Patty, it's not the person itself that's being challenged or talked about. It's tradition, right? And what's tradition? If I still believed in, don't let the broom sweep over my don't let the black cat cross the street. If I still believe that in this time, we'll be so. It's traditions,
but
that's being challenged, not the person.
No, and I'm glad because we want to clear it up because you have a lot of people that just look for the nuances so that they can make something big out of it. And that's what happened with me with the church situation. But the tea speak for itself. The paperwork speak for itself. Ariel, you have spoken. We certainly appreciate you coming on. Elvis, we thank you. And one thing I do appreciate, John, and you're going to appreciate this, we got listeners. They are listening and they are talking and they are taking things in. So if nothing else, we appreciate you all, everybody, the screamers, the hollers, and I always was taught. Now, this is an old saying, John, a hit dog will always holler. I was taught. See, that's one of those old sayings. I
can feel that one.
We'll always holler.
I can feel that
one. We're going to sweep that one under. But there's something that we ran across. I want to play. D, can you play this here? And then we're going to be out of here. We appreciate, we wish you well. You're number 4. And people, those of you might be just getting your darn mail-in ballot. Do not mail it in. Take it to a polling place. Because I don't think it's going to make it there by Tuesday. The mail run kind of crazy. We realized some people was just getting their ballot. So mark them, but you can seal them and you can drop them off at any of those 4 locations we just told you about. But they have to be in before Tuesday. Go ahead and play that beat.
Same people that did you wrong are about to watch God do you right. The same individuals that tried to take you down are about to watch God take you up. The same folks that were talking behind your back are going to have to watch God bless you in front of their face, because the scripture said he's prepared a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. That means God wants them to have front row seats to your elevation. Glory to God. Thank you, Lord. That means God wants them to be a witness of your wellness. That means God wants them to see your ascension. And they need to understand and get this lesson that God's children should not be played with.
Now,
somebody needs to hear this.
That's what's really happening. Until we meet again, you all be blessed. Get out and vote. It is crucial. We got to get someone, and prefer Aria, Amir, Danley in that seat.
And thank you for giving me the platform, Miss Patty.
No, thank you for bringing me out of the mothball, Mr. Game Changer. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's praying for me, everyone who knows truth when you see it. And I want to thank my church members, those that 95% is still on this side, who's saying that folks are doing us wrong, but God got the last say. So we love you, we thank you, and to God be the glory.
Deuces, I stand 10 toes down. Ooh, Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're done.
You know, I got the
I like.